We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Sometimes we give you news. Sometimes we make you laugh. Hopefully, in this episode, we make you laugh a lot, because there's a lot to laugh about. And, most times we go deep. And today we are back with the mid-season premiere of The Walking Dead Season 10 mid-season premiere. We got a lot of Goonies vibes. We even have a little Lost reference in there for you. And we're just about to get ready. In case you missed it, we had a special this week covering the teaser trailers for the rest of the season. I highly suggest you, if you haven't checked it out already, check it out after this episode, because we go into stuff that may or may not happen for the rest of the season, and some of that plays into this episode, including like who survives and who doesn't, who we know of. There are some things that I announced in that episode that I'm going to be announcing in this one, one of which is we have the new design in the merch store. It is the cool-ass We Are Squawking Dead logo that is the current social media avatar. It's available in both white and black lettering, so you can use any color you want as your background. Other than that, I don't want to waste too much time here. I do see a lot of new faces on Instagram, which I'm very appreciative of. This episode is basically an hour and 15 minutes long. So it's not that much, but Instagram will get cut off at the hour. When we do get cut off, just hop back on to the next live, because it should be right after. And we should resume right, kind of like, not exactly where we started off, a couple seconds apart, but join back into the live. It's going to be available for you. And if you miss anything, you can maybe go back to the live, or hey, you can always go to YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. We have a Facebook group, Facebook page. We have a Twitch. We have a Mixer. We're streaming everywhere. And one more thing. You may see a little thing like right about here. What that thing is a little marquee that says support the podcast. Now, if you like what you hear and you want to support the show, buy us a coffee. It's actually less than the cost of a cup of coffee. And what that gives you is the ability to join us when we do record our episodes. You'll be there in the real-time chat. We even have a backup YouTube stream if you don't want to really necessarily join us in the real-time chat, but you kind of still want to watch the show. You can still use that chat on YouTube. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, coffee backers get to take a part of the show, get to be a part of the breakdowns in the chat. It's not laggy like it is now. So what are you waiting for? Now, you can wait a couple seconds from when we start the episode, because when you do, and you do buy us a coffee during the episode, your name will be here forever on YouTube and Facebook for that video. So you get a little bloop bloop, and then your name comes up, and it's great, and it looks really cool. Other than that, oh yeah, and by the way, you can get access to the entire unedited version of this podcast, which is actually a lot longer. We were a little mental this episode and last episode, and I feel that trend is not going to stop anytime soon. The pre-show was insanity. The post-show was even more insanity. So I highly recommend it. And in any case, wait a couple seconds, and if you do buy us coffee, you'll see it in the stream. And otherwise, we're back. Season 10. The rest of it. It's going to get fucking crazy. And it's going to get a little insane. And we're going to walk you through the entire thing. We're going to be laughing. Some of us are going to be crying. Probably mostly me. I got a comment just now. Dave, you look like a zombie. Haha, so cool. No, that's me. That's what I look like. I'm going to start the show. We are Squawking Dead, a podcast pulverizing episodes of the Walking Dead universe. Always surprising my co-host with the intro. Today we have Cosmo Mom Zero and I, Rachael Burt, and OG Squawking D, Carol G. In the hizzy. It's about time. We're back, as is tradition, since Carol's not been on for a little while. We're going to put the pressure on her. Why don't you give me your rundown of what's going on here? If you've been on Twitter, if you've been on Instagram, the memes are everywhere. So what's going on? What is your estimation? Let's get the Carol take.
It's sadly Carol being self-destructive and spilling over to everybody else, which is the sad, unfortunate truth. Her grief and need for revenge is overclouding her logic and sabotaging everybody, basically. I think they're all at their wits' end with her, really. And kind of understandably so. Daryl continuously tries and tries and tries and tries, and she keeps just going off on a tangent, like on these, you know, self-destructive missions. And then it's not clear necessarily like the finality of like Magna and Connie, but I mean, it doesn't look good. So.
Nope, it doesn't. When the mountain explodes and then caves in on itself, it looks terrible.
Yeah, it does not look good. And it was just weird to see Carol in this pitiful state at the end. Sort of like, oh, it's my fault, you want to blame me or blame, like, it's not a typical look for her, which is, you know, I mean, it's sad on all fronts.
It does seem like it comes out of nowhere in a way, like it's just not on par with her character.
Right.
But there is a basis for that reaction, I think. People having a weird reaction to seeing Alpha and Negan not getting, well, not boots, but socks, apparently.
Narratively, I didn't think they were going to go there. So I'm surprised that they did. It's in character with like the comic book storyline, but I didn't expect them to go that route.
All right, does the comic book go into any sort of graphic detail, like, or
No.
graphic visuals?
No. In the comic, he always has a kind of flirtatious banter of interest, but in the comic, they don't show any sort of physical interaction. It's not really expressed like if that happened at all.
Is there even an implication?
I don't even remember if there was much of an implication. Do you remember, Rach? I don't feel like they ever really like...
I feel like maybe he might have like kissed her. They may have kissed, and I think that may have happened like right before he killed her.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But I think that was it. I don't remember there even being like, you know, I want to say a scene, a square where it even looked like they were doing, you know what I mean? No.
Yeah, no.
You mean this?
Anything like that. Yeah,
Like nothing.
I did this.
Like a
I thought it was, spoiler alert, like, I wasn't sure if that line in that scene when he's like, oh, this isn't like a praying mantis thing and you're going to like chew my head off afterwards. I was like, comic book spoiler.
Right.
I
love how right after that he's like, you know, I didn't actually hear you say no to that.
Right.
I'm going to need an answer.
The reactions ranged from getting pedantic about the socks to like, right? Like, because they were still in their black socks, and everybody was just like weirded out by this factor for some reason. I have no idea why. Has anybody ever had sex outside? Like in the nature? Like, I wouldn't blame them for keeping them on necessarily. I'm not trying to blow my own spot, but I mean, I didn't have socks on, but that's a choice.
It didn't strike me weird that they had the socks on. I just thought, really, black socks? But no, I kind of had the same thought, though. Like, you're outside. I mean, maybe it's chilly. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't think it was that big of a deal. But yeah, the internet definitely lost their mind.
Yeah. And then there's the whole other side of that. With the whole, like, seeing them naked, they're all kind of, you know, not the cleanest bunch. That's me being generous.
Yeah.
That's me being generous.
That was my next thought, was clearly attractive people, but dirty attractive people are still dirty.
Yeah. Well, it's like Lauren Ridloff was saying in Talking Dead was like, how did they get it up? Because because it's just we talked about this too. Like, we've talked about sex in the apocalypse. It's got to take a lot. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's got to. I mean, I'm not saying physically. I'm just saying like just mentally up here.
Well, Negan does make a comment. He's like, you know, it's been so long. I'm willing to risk it. So I'm not a guy. I don't know how these things work, but I mean, when you want it, you want it, right? I mean, I don't know. I was under the impression it wasn't that difficult.
You gotta strike while the iron's hot. I get it. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, like here it is. Here's my reward question mark.
Reward question mark. But see that the fact that you're even saying that though, right?
Right. That was my other thought, was how presumptuous of her to even offer herself as a reward. Like, what makes you think he wants you?
Hello, she is the alpha. What are you not getting?
I don't know. Like, yeah, I don't know. I would think like, here, have the big piece of meat from dinner as your reward, or an extra potato or something. I don't know. I wouldn't think like you get meat. Like, if
she was here, she would behead you. Because, like, she is the reward. She is it. She is Vigo.
Okay, all right.
The Carpathian. Anyway.
Yeah, this is why I need this. This is why I need this.
Yeah. It's like Negan was trying to tell her earlier. It was like, you live in this position for so long that you think your shit don't stink. But it still stinks. But, like, she's still there. She literally is like Negan. Or maybe, like, even like Ezekiel, too. Like, sometimes you fake it till you make it, right? But then, like, you're in it for so long that you're just it. You're on all the time. And then you almost, like, believe your own yarns, right? If everybody else is willing to believe it and you're willing to believe it, then you're it. That's it. It's done.
Yeah. And you're absolutely right. Negan would have felt the same way. Like, oh, you get a reward. You get me. I mean, he had multiple wives, so obviously he thought of himself that big. I guess I'm not that kind of a person, so I wouldn't think I was any kind of a reward. So I'm thinking, like, what makes you think he even wants you? But that makes a lot more sense. She is the alpha. Who wouldn't want her, right?
It's in character with how the story goes, so maybe they are sticking true to the storyline.
Samantha Morton had a really good interview and really good insight on all of that, and it definitely put things into perspective for me as well. Mm-hmm. She said that Alpha sees Negan as sort of what she always wanted her husband to be. Right. He's the type of man that she wanted her husband to be, and he wasn't. And obviously Beta's, big, strong protector, but he's not that.
He's not clever.
He's not a front man. He's a follower.
Her husband and Negan do have similar features, like dark hair, even a beard at one point, but like this,
the slender, tall, lanky build. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Visually, like almost the same, but like also like, oh, this is what I was missing out on. Because even if you look at Beta is a beta. Let's be real here. In spite of his physical stature and what he can do, he doesn't have the self-control or agency necessary to really lead. Negan said he's kind of a goose stepper.
Yeah.
So she's been surrounded by betas.
None of the other Whisperers have stepped up as worthy, we'll say, to be with her.
Right. And where's the opportunity, really? Let's just be honest. Like, there's no upward mobility in the Whisperer structure.
I've never met anyone like Negan till now. So.
Right. Who else could pull it off, right? Like, only this weird character coming out of nowhere with this particular insight. Not just some rando. What was your superficial reaction to seeing that? Some people had like a thing. They had like a, like that kind of reaction.
I was just surprised. I was like, wow, this is really happening. Okay, all right. So like my wheels were already spinning, like, all right.
So you just skipped ahead. It was like,
I just
we're here
started,
now.
Yeah, I was like, okay, what's coming down the pipe now based on this? Like the foreshadowing thing with the praying mantis,
praying mantis?
Yeah.
I feel like, when somebody says something that is exactly what's going to happen, it's almost guaranteed that it's not going to happen because it's too on the nose, Yeah,
but then sometimes they can just kind of mess you up like that and just kind of be like, oh, well, it sounds really like it's going to be on the nose, so people are going to assume that it's not going to be it. But guess what? It really is it.
I want to kind of talk about the internet, though. Like, I think it's really because people get really attached to specific characters. Basically, the Negan, I'll say apologists, let's say, enthusiasts. Mm-hmm. They were not about it. I think mostly because they want Negan to be with them, in a way. And so Alpha's kind of like a step down, for them.
Oh, please.
I'm kidding. But I think
Alpha's still a step up from the rest of us.
Yes. Yes.
That's respect. That's an interesting comment. Sure.
100%.
You've always said, Carol, that Alpha is not to be messed with. She is hella strong, hella clever. She's not like a girly girl, essentially. The TV series takes that and then adds like 3 dimensions to that. Like, there's a cult aspect, there's a clever aspect. I'm wondering also, because like nobody's really saying this out loud. I don't think most of the reactions don't really spell this out. I do think they're picking apart Samantha Morton's appearance, though. Do you guys think so? Like, she's a very beautiful woman, but like obviously she's not like I don't know, like one of Negan's wives, let's say, just as an example.
Right.
Well, I'd like to see any one of these people picking apart Samantha Morton's body get naked in front of
Exactly.
And see how they feel about that.
Right.
I think she looked gorgeous.
Right.
I would never have the courage to do that.
Hell no. No way.
And I think they did it in a very...
artistic. It was done in a very artistic way.
Yes,
it wasn't
classy.
gratuitous.
Nothing was...
No.
Right. Nothing was hanging out.
No.
Nothing was covered. It was...
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was actually a really weirdly...
sexual
embrace.
Yeah.
It, like, I was like, ugh and at the same time.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
But mostly because of the dirt.
Right.
Nothing about her. Not like, oh, you know, like...
No.
Yeah, she's not that skinny, or she's not what... Yeah.
I literally had to remind people that just a few scenes ago, she had pushed him into a bunch of shit. So who are you ugging about here? He smells like feces. Like literal feces, guys. Mm-hmm. So whose shit stinks right now? Everybody's shit is on Negan. Right yeah.
The look on his face right before he turned around. Oh man.
Right? That
he's
little bit.
Such an incredible actor. The trembling and like he's like about to just break down and cry.
Yeah.
And then these boobies.
And then he turns around and it's like boobs.
Yeah, how did he get that up? Oh, that's right. Yeah.
I think the whole praying mantis thing, though, like not as a narrative concept, but like as a thing he says that she does not respond to, really got him rock hard. Because say what you will, but like danger boners are a real thing, I think.
It's a fearrection.
Yeah. Wait, is that the word? Oh
yes,
no,
you're looking for a fearrection.
Or as the league put it, a fear boner, yeah. But yeah.
Fear boner.
I think she played him like a fiddle, though. Like, she knew that he would want this. She knew that this is the right presentation for this. Also, the crass reward thing, the way it was done, like scaring him half to death. There's a deeper thing going on here, and it's something that I know you want to talk about, Carol. Before we went on break, we were talking about, oh yeah, Negan, he's just playing them for fools, and then at the last second, he's going to pull up on the yoke, and he's be like, yeah, team, he was with us the whole time. I'm not sure.
I think that he is on Alpha's side right now. I think that he is on their team right now until Lydia's whereabouts come, to light, and maybe she comes back into the camp or she's captured, because obviously you know that they're out looking for Gamma, but Gamma's out there, so is Lydia. So like potentially they could come across Lydia, find her, because again, comic book spoiler, the big turnoff for Negan in the comic is finding out of the abuse that Lydia suffers at the hands of like the Whisperers. So if we're going by that route of the storyline and Lydia comes back to the camp willingly or otherwise, and he gets wind of like Alpha abusing her physically or mentally or allowing her to be punished by other Whisperers and God knows what ways or whatever, that could be the turning point for him. We've already seen him save Lydia once.
Yeah.
Do you think Alpha jumped the gun with her reward at all? Right now, all we know is that Gamma didn't make it to the border to deliver the message.
Yeah.
And couldn't it be possible that our group captured her and is questioning her? Alpha doesn't really know yet that Gamma is a spy.
I would say a little bit of both, because we've all experienced that moment where someone else thinks of something that you never thought of, and it just becomes the thing that gets stuck in your craw. And they could be right, and they could be wrong. but all of a sudden it makes the most sense in the world. You just need to root out that possibility at the very least. So I think also that she does want to believe, because there's like, it's like kind of like what Samantha Morton says about her, well, Negan as a representation. It's like that a part of her awakens inside her, and that's the part that sees an equal at the very least, and at the very best or worst is like somebody that she can rely on, like in the sense of like somebody that even she could submit to. Like she could surrender a bit of herself at least, and like not have to carry everything on her own.
True.
Right?
You don't think she sees Beta that way?
No. In some ways, yes. She only gives Beta as much as she can handle. But there's that other part. We're all married here, right? Mm-hmm. With your significant other, you don't give them as much as you're comfortable handling. You kind of just give them yourself. If you're feeling a certain way, you just let them know. And then hopefully they can handle it. But they do every day. With, everyone else, it's kind of like, okay, well, there's a little bit less, maybe, at the very least, that you give everybody else, right? And that's the way I kind of see that dynamic. Okay, so with Beta, it's like, these are the narrow parameters in which I will allow myself to be a certain way with you. Like, even this whole going to the baby bird's nest, she didn't let him know. Because she knew, had Beta seen her the way she saw him back in the day, that's like goods. Like, he has the goods on her. Like that vulnerability, that like, you cannot see me like the way I saw you.
Basically, the thing that she's hanging over his head right now, she does not want him to have that advantage over her.
Right. Just in terms of like the ability to just have that kind of goods on her. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Well, the mental advantage, like, right now, she's the alpha who basically like rescued him from, this torment he was putting himself through. She's his rescuer. And in Negan's case, he needs no rescuing. He's a self-made man and knows exactly who he is. And she likes that.
Right. But like going back to that, otherwise, who's holding this whole system up? This whole cultish thing up, right?
With all that theory in mind, do you think that the little baby bird's nest was still around in the picture? Do you think that's something she would share with Negan?
I don't know. Time would have to tell. Okay, so it's kind of like when you get together with somebody that you really have feelings and vibes with, you don't give them everything. I'm not saying that she's there yet with Negan. I'm saying that she sees the potential of it being there. Going back to what Samantha actually says, there's like a part of her that awakens that she's not familiar with, but she is exploring, right? Yeah. Like there's this idea of codependence of some kind.
When I heard her say that, I took that more as like sort of woke up.
Woken up.
The woman,
the stirring of my loins.
Part of her. Well, she's been
right. That's what I mean, but not saying
for
that
so long. Right, she's been the alpha for so long, not really a woman.
Right, the potential to submit, I guess, is what I'm saying. Like
Negan sort of reminded her, you're a woman too, and maybe you got some needs, and maybe she hadn't thought about those needs until now. I don't know, but
but again, early stages. She might have
forgot she was a girl along the way.
Yeah. It's great that you say that, because it's kind of like when Negan catches her. How do I put this? Yeah, well, we don't know if it was one or the other. Relieving herself. Thank you.
Relieving herself.
When Negan catches her relieving herself, she even says it's, the latrine is really just for hygiene. It's not really for privacy. We don't believe in that. That's the old rules. Like that, that sort of thing. We're just animals, but, we still have to care about hygiene, but we're just animals. But then, like, this whole other thing of, like, oh, I'm an actual woman, a human woman at that, with needs. And possibly the willingness to, I can relax a little bit. I can be myself. I don't know. This could be a thing. It seems like he's given up way too many of the goods. We said this in the trailer breakdown episode 87. He could have just ratted out Beta, caused some chaos, took one step back, and let it all fall down. But instead he rats out Gamma, which is the actual truth. He saw it. She saw that he saw it. And I think she knows that he's right. She respects him for calling her out on her shit, literally also. And then and knocking boots to show appreciation. So she's doing all the right things for all the wrong reasons, I think, now. I think he's really trying to get in. I think he really wants to be a part of this thing. I don't know to what capacity. I don't know to what end, because it's Negan. It's clear that he's not with our group.
Right.
I don't think so.
I don't know if I see it that way anyway. I think it would be very stupid for him to throw Beta under the bus when he knows what he's saying isn't true. I think he sees how clever Alpha is and that she is smart and she knows what's going on. So if he tried to mislead her in any way, that would end with him dying. She would kill him.
Okay, that's a good point. That's a good point too.
But you also made a good point in which he could have just said nothing. Saying nothing wouldn't have gotten him in any trouble, but he's not doing that either. So I got question marks up in the air, but I'm not... I can't even believe I'm about to say this right now, but I'm not giving up hope on Negan. I can't believe that just came out of my face.
I think that he's open to being a part of this group and being the king to her queen until Lydia shows up. His eyes are going to open to how inhumane they are and how much more humane the group was.
Do you think he would be okay being the king to her queen, or would he at some point try and take her out and be the leader? Like, Negan doesn't seem like the type to share the throne.
Yeah, but I don't know if he's met like a match like her, so maybe that's why he's open to it.
Good point.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that he's intrigued.
You have to remember, Negan reads people too. So he's still trying to suss her out. From reading Father Gabriel to Rick to Carl, he's just good at it.
Daryl,
Yeah.
all of them.
Yeah.
I think we can say at this point that Negan told Alpha that Gamma was a spy, but that was after the Horde was moved. So he wasn't... We originally thought he was the reason the Horde was moved, but that's not the case now?
Right. I thought there was going to be some time fuckery, but that's fine. It still works.
So I wonder why it got moved, though.
That is a really good question.
Because what we said made sense.
Yeah,
Unless Alpha always planned on leading them to that cave.
Maybe it was like a last-minute decision. Maybe the border guards saw them ahead of time. That's possible, but I don't know how you can move a whole entire horde into a cavern. See, and this is like where Chris would come out of the woodwork. Yeah, Chris would probably come out of the woodwork and say the same things. Like, why would you do that? How would you know? The more I talk about that specific piece, like the whole Negan Alpha thing, the more I just get frustrated. But that's a good frustration to have, because now I really don't know how this is going to go down. Like, you could say, yeah, Lydia could show up and then he just bashes her over the head or something. I don't know. It's like, the Titanic is going to sink somehow. You just don't know, like, all the mechanics, all the drama that's going to happen in the meantime to make that happen and be something you want to stick around there to watch.
So, Carol, correct me if I'm wrong, when Negan finally does take Alpha's head, which Alpha dies before Beta, he does it away from everybody, kind of at night, segregated, and then he just sort of sneaks off.
Yeah.
Nobody actually sees this happen.
No, nobody
does. The
does.
Whisperers don't even know that Negan's the one who killed Alpha.
No, they blame our group basically for it because they find Alpha's body and they just kind of are like, oh my gosh, but they don't know that Negan was the one who did it.
I don't think it's going to happen without a whole bunch of other things happening first that are going to make us absolutely nuts. Deaths, things changing irrevocably. But then also, if it does happen, I don't think it's going to happen the way we expect it to. Like, I don't think it's going to be as simple as Lydia.
I just want Alpha's head to come off. That's really the only thing I absolutely want.
It's like an action figure.
Like,
can the action figure with detachable head?
Yeah, like,
well, technically,
it
has to be beheaded. I would like Carol to do it, but if it's not her, that's fine, as long as whoever takes Alpha out takes off her head.
Yeah,
that's what
I think it's going to happen.
Nobody's going to be satisfied unless otherwise.
Which makes me think that they're going to kill her off in a different way. They would totally do that to us, though.
I don't think they would do that. I think it's kind of like the Glenn death, right? If you think about it, like that had to happen.
That's true. Yeah,
right?
It did have to happen that way. Yeah.
There's some things that just have to happen as canon, and which, by the way, like once we start getting these things out of the way, we're going to start being in like no man's land eventually at some point. There's still going to be some things from the comic, but there's quite the divergence at this moment.
Hey, Chris is here.
Do you want to add some final comments that hopefully we didn't stab through?
Most of my issue with the episode had nothing to do with Negan, really. Yeah, the scene was a little gross.
Gross how, though?
I know that there's a lot of ladies out there that they got to see JDM's backside and stuff, or at least a side view of it. But I did have to be extremely drunk, or in the most desperate times of my life.
Is it like for either of them too?
That's about right.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot of dirtiness that's not my type of dirty going on.
That's what you said, Rach, right? Like you're like.
All I'm saying is, don't knock it till you try it.
They're just
dirty
and not the good kind.
Dirt is a natural lubricant.
Nope.
No.
Technically.
Nope.
I think you're thinking of mud.
Yep.
Maybe.
The mud is wet dirt.
Which would what they would basically turn into is just a wet pile of dirt.
And then it would dry. It would turn into a paste, and then they'd be stuck together.
I mean, if you really want to end the conversation, just needs a little spit. And then,
Yeah.
there you go. There you are. Okay, segment over.
Yikes.
Bang zoom.
Yeah.
The most triggering of openers I think we've ever had on the show. Like, I want to say it. I'll be wrong. Every single time in the trailer breakdown, I was like, I am not happy with this. I'm very uncomfortable with this primal scream thing.
Yeah, but we nailed it, though. I think we all boiled down to the fact that it was like a frustration scream.
Right. And I think we were right.
I know that there was other thoughts about somebody dying or her just being angry, and I mean, that's what it boiled down to, anger and frustration.
But the only thing that I want to pick apart from that one scene was that, like, when the camera's kind of going back in on Alpha, she does this weird thing with her face where it's like this, like, yes, goodbye. Like this mopey kind of.
Yeah.
It's a weird scowl. She was like, yes, I love your scream. Yes. And then does this kind of like it's like a frog kind of like. Do you know what I'm saying?
Faces are amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, I know.
I wasn't sure if I was nailing it, but I was like,
no, I'm not sure. A few more times. You nailed it.
and she dips out. I do think she's satisfied, but then all of a sudden she's horrified because, oh, someone's fucking me.
She's happy she caught him, but now she's pissed because she's got another problem to deal with.
Right, exactly. I really kind of liked that simultaneous reaction from her. Like, in that 1-2 second moment range.
There's got to be another exit, too, because she made it out real fast.
There's got to be several, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
They
Here we
definitely
go.
took the most difficult road home.
Yeah. Yes, they did.
Tell us more.
So look, Dave got a snippet of my rant.
I got so much. It's so good.
I don't even know where to begin with this whole cave scene. I know they need to build drama. Sometimes I feel like it's a lazy way out. Let's start by the whole leapfrogging onto boulders one at a time, and out of all the people that they decide to pick as the clumsy one, who's not going to jump and stick their landing, is the professional dancer / probably athlete in her earlier life. All right, like they.
But you know, she injured her ankle on the show. Right before they do that, Connie says, "Is your ankle okay?" And she says, "Yeah, I'll be fine." They addressed an injury.
Yeah.
Oh, I did see her limp a little bit.
There's your easy out. You know, like let's give her an injury so that way she falls. You know, it's just like, and then you have Cooper, who is this lumbering giant, who would, if anybody is going to have an issue doing this,
and he did, by the way.
Yeah, it's going to be him. He's going to be the one who falls.
Literally,
he didn't actually do it. He had a stunt double for that scene.
Yeah.
Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like his character or him, like that's the guy. I'm sorry, but that's the guy whose momentum alone, based on body weight and size, is going to be the one who misses the platform completely, hits it and falls off.
Wait, what about Aaron with the 30 extra pounds of metal on his arm?
Yeah.
Well, he's got a counterweight, so he can just go.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just carry him across.
It's like Thor's hammer. He could just go like this and just whoosh across.
I'm surprised he wasn't using it to smash into the rock and hold himself steady. You know, like
That would have been dope, yo. Yo, that would have been dope, and I would have worn my hat like this.
Shut up, you're making fun of me?
Sometimes I don't really realize you're doing that. Which, by the way, can I just take a break?
It just does it. I
and
put
ask
it
you-
on, and it shifts.
Oh, it does not. There's a
Yes,
tilt.
it does.
But
it's
there's
like a
tilt
switch.
too.
You know, when I turn it, it's like a switch.
You know that could be adjustable, but you just don't care. But also, I wanted to ask you, like, you're shaving your head down, right? It looks like
Yeah.
you're not letting it
Yes.
grow.
No.
That's interesting. Because I meant to ask you about that last time. Like, oh, it just seems to not be growing. But no, I saw it grow a little bit, and then you just went.
Yeah.
Is there any
like it.
reason? Like,
Keeping
what's? Yeah. Okay.
I like it.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I like not having to do anything with it in the morning. It's really nice.
It's so easy. You just do your hair and go to work.
I mean, I've been thinking about shaving, like, just to skin at this rate.
That look good, and then you have the beard.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Angel, I think, is like not that much taller than I am, too. By the way,
Yeah, I mean,
and we got little legs. You know, as short people.
he states he's 6'2" on the show.
Yeah,
So,
that's canon. Yo, that's canon, yo.
and I mean, I have a photo. Yeah, I have a photo standing next to him, so he's probably about 6'2".
Yeah, there's something to be
290.
said about reach. I think it's not the jump that I have a problem with. It's
the land.
It's the landing. Yeah, it's sticking
Yeah.
the landing, right?
Yeah, that's a lot
That's
of
the thing.
momentum to stop
Right.
on a dime. You know,
Right.
like just like he would be ass over tea kettle. So it was just sure.
Which, by the way, if you saw the jump, even if it was the stunt actor, like there's two things that I noticed is that one, it did not look natural, and two, there was a production photo with Norman Reedus on like it looked like he was on wire works, you know, like he was on like an actual wire.
Maybe.
Two, I have to kind of. I've seen the photos. Like it looks like that's how that went down. There's some things you just kind of have to let sail over your.
Not even having to get as far as the leapfrog. If you just would have tried to go back up the cliff, you fell, which I know that they did. But
Yeah, Magna did attempt
that was like your only attempt. You have Jerry, 6'2", stand on his shoulders, like you know they're sitting there like, like what are you doing? Stop it!
Stop! You're ridiculous.
You are ridiculous.
I'm glad you guys saw most of that because my screen was too dark. I missed most of the leapfrogging.
Yeah, you have to dim your. You actually have to like bring
Dim
the
your lights,
brightness up. You have to bring the brightness up on your TV.
Mike
Satrazemis?
Yeah.
directed this one. Mhm.
Yeah, he said in an interview that it was they shot in the dark 90% of that whole thing. So
The idea they brought carrot juice on set so people could see better in the dark. I thought that was hysterical.
what?
Does it work?
Carrot
Who knows?
juice.
Because of beta carotene.
Not that fast.
Yeah.
No, but I think it's like a steady diet. But yeah, the
Right,
general
exactly.
idea.
Intravenous
Just for today,
energy.
guys. Here you go. Load up.
This is a Popeye spinach here. It's like,
No.
look. Whoa! I can see everything. No. Tell me,
Everybody's sitting
silly.
around- Everybody's sitting around with an IV of fucking vitamin K going in.
All right. I'm ready.
Yeah.
The two big things that I latched onto in my brain with what you said was when they pulled Jerry out, these two walkers coming right after him, right? Like, why didn't you plug the hole?
The one comes out, they stab it in the head, they drag it out.
Right.
Yeah, why?
Well,
Wow.
Why
for?
did they do that?
Why?
Why are we doing
Keep
that?
it in there. Plug
Yes,
it.
yes, absolutely.
Well, I'm glad they left the last one in at least.
Yeah.
So there's that.
And I mean, prior to that, okay, so you got a man the size that he is. You've been in this world for how many years now? Like, what is it,
Yeah.
9
I was thinking
years
that too.
plus? You're experienced in this kind of thing. Something should tell you we probably should find a different plan than what we're doing. Shimmying through a tight area like that with someone his size, me personally, be like, you know what, guys, I'm gonna go by myself this way.
I'm dead meat. That's
Like
I was actually thinking, like, after all this time, like, there wouldn't be, like, this is going to sound really bad, but, like, there wouldn't be, like, a natural loss of, like, muscle mass or, like, also. Like,
right.
I mean, I know it's just it's one of those things that you really can't argue with it in the end of the day because the actors are the actors, and I don't know. Nobody's going to get all method for their part,
right?
Or for this kind of part.
Well,
I mean, even though
you're Joaquin Phoenix, but
or was it Christian Bale, the machinist?
Jim Carrey. I mean,
50 Cent.
Yeah, I get it, and I know sometimes I do realize that I get like a little bit too real world. Like, come on, this is dumb. But I understand it's a comic. I know it's a TV show. Obviously, I'm not one of these people who's delusional.
But I do feel like I have to run defense on you because what people don't know about BMNY Deadcast is Beast Mode NY is that you guys were all Z-Pac kind of prepper, kind of like that's how you got started. Right. And so there's like a lot to kind of reconcile when it comes to watching these shows and being like, well, in real life, this will go down like this. But like in the show, I don't know why they're doing this, but yeah. So there's a little of that going on there too. So Absolutely. I feel like, I gotta let the people know every now and again.
And I mean, it's not that. I get beat up sometimes. It's like, oh well, relax. It's a TV show. It's like I get it. I understand it's a TV show.
Yeah.
And like I said, I understand you need to build drama, and there's ways to do that. The way that they went about getting everybody on the edge of their seat with Jerry being stuck. Him saying, they're biting my feet. I wouldn't give a shit if they were biting my feet. Because, let's be honest, please. These things have been dead for how long? We're talking about the human jaw, muscle deterioration, ligaments, teeth that are rotting out of their mouths.
We're talking about, like, our grandparents. Like, they bit into an apple and their tooth fell out.
They're not biting through a leather work boot, period.
But I think that does tell us a little bit more about the lore, though, because if you really start thinking about this show, like a lot of things about these dead things don't make sense.
Right.
Like how is it that they're even physically they don't disintegrate, right? But I guess there has to be a law, at least with these walkers or zombies or empties as they're being called on TW World Beyond. Mm-hmm. I guess the two laws are that unlimited scratching.
Right.
Occasionally a fingernail will come off, whatever.
But you have the bone, the actual bone, which would be scratching,
Right, and somehow these tips don't fall off. And look at this joint right here. Look, does a human finger do that? No, only mine. But like, but there's that. But then there's like obviously the teeth. Like for some reason, the teeth stay in the mouth. They just do, right? And they chomp down with the force of an alligator.
Yeah,
for some reason.
And they shred through everything.
Yeah, and that's just the law.
We all know what happens to your teeth when blood flow stops going to them, right?
Well, not yet, but I'm finding out.
Well, I mean, come on.
Yeah.
You could go a little further. I mean, if zombies are reanimated corpses, they would have blood flow, right? Their brains are active.
Yeah, it's not really.
Sludge flow.
And when they get hit, there's a burst of blood from wherever they get hit or stabbed.
Yeah, but is their blood circulating? Half of them are mutilated to death. It's all drained out.
Yeah,
like a black goop.
Yeah, a lot of them are. But when we see like a mostly put together walker, someone who's not been hacked to death,
I would be completely fine if this was a freshly killed person.
Right, but clearly they were not.
Clearly they were not.
Right.
Well, I think there's certain conclusions we have to come to after a while, and that's, yes, they're still going to be able to bite. Yes, most of their teeth are going to stay in that head unless something knocked it out, like a rock or like natural circumstances. Michonne. Yeah, the force of nature, sure.
If they just let her go around being crazy and de-jawing everybody, it'd be fine.
Exactly. Yeah. We'd all be better off.
Arms and their jaws off, and she just let her roam the Z-Pac and do her job.
Could you imagine? Can you imagine that taking a toll off of somebody after a while? I just take jaws off every day. I mean, it's just it's a routine.
Yeah. Morgan cleared, and Michonne took off the jaws.
De-jawed. She's like the dentist of the future. Michonne.
And I mean, mark my words, if it does ever happen and you see zombies without arms and jaws, know that I actually I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I started with people, and then I moved on to. I started with walkers. Whoa.
Oh no! I already know that if it happens, there's just going to be people that are going to be collateral damage.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think
I'm killing you.
Like intellectual trauma. Like after a while, it's just like they're all the same.
Yeah.
Can you see my sweatshirt?
If zombies chase us,
Yeah.
I'm tripping.
Yeah.
Oh, Otis. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
We all know where you stand with that debate. There's so many things that really, like, just all at once made me think of the Goonies. Mm-hmm. From, like, the matches to peeping into entrances, like, in the caverns, like, trying to find your way out.
Yeah.
Even some of the music, if you really caught it, there were horns in the background in the score. And like little violin transitions and stuff like that. Like where there were tender moments. Which, I mean, you do get on this show, but like I don't recall ever hearing horns. Ever. In the score. But like squeezing through crevices and then that moment where Magna sees the light up ahead. I instantly thought of Mikey going, "Hey, there's a light up in this passageway. Let's go see what it is." and then simultaneously in that one single moment, she's like moving towards it, and like Daryl goes, and then like she almost steps off the ledge, which reminds you instantly of like the organ scene where they have to play the bones to move on.
Now I
mean,
I want to go watch Goonies now.
I know,
exactly.
right?
Oh, there's more. The funny candles.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, the dynamite.
Yep. Yeah.
These candles look funny.
It's not a candle, it's firewood.
And some of them were candles. And of course, the most iconic moment was Jerry as Sloth holding the pillar up. Go!
Yeah.
There's just so much. I could probably missed a couple, but like even like Daryl and I think it was Connie. There's like this one scene where they're like looking through the close passageway, and he's holding, I think, either the flashlight or like a match or something like that ahead of him. And it was that one scene, kind of like near the beginning of the movie, where like, and like I was just thinking like,
I gotta go to the bathroom. Okay then, this is a little boy's room, and I tell us a little girl's room.
just brought me back all over again. It's just,
So when they found the little passageway, you know, Daryl looks down, he sees the feet prints, he says, "Oh, okay, this is the way the Whisperers went. This is the way out." They were walking upright, and then all of a sudden, they're crawling. Now, I know I may have missed some things because my screen was dark, but did I miss something there? When did they go from vertical to crawling? Well, at first I thought maybe it was like an aerial view, like we were looking at them from above, and it just looked like they were crawling. But no, because there's that part where Carol stops and has her panic attacks.
okay, I can tell you the moment in which it transitions. It was the moment where Connie is writing in "You are okay." It's just before that because she has to realize that they're about to have to go into that passageway, and she can't handle it.
That's when they're still standing upright.
Right.
They're standing. They're standing up when they enter, and then by the time they get out the hole, they're crawling.
You can't necessarily see where the passageway starts narrowing, but where Carol is and where they're entering into this hole in the wall, and she sees this, and that's why she's panicking. She's like, okay, it's already fucking killing me that we're going through this crevasse and we're in this like atrium, like not it's like a space. It's not a very big space, but now they have to go into an even more confined space. She is flipping out. Because like literally right behind her is where they have to go through. The only way out is that crawling up because they crawl up. So the order is Carol freaking out, you are okay. They go into the thing all the way until where Jerry gets stuck.
Carol
then they get out.
Again.
Magna almost falls into the bottomless pit. Well, not bottomless, obviously. And then, but they still see the light and they find their way to get to that light. And then that's
okay.
Kelly plays whack-a-mole a little bit. Then they open the hole a little bit more. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I have to check off or check out and put the kids to bed. You guys are on solid ground here. No pun intended.
No pun intended. Fuck. Well, it's good to have you for as long as we got to have you.
Good night.
Bye. It was so sad to see Carol go, but you can catch her some more on her blog. She just started a mom life blog. You can catch the first 2 entries, the second of which I just found riveting. I won't spoil it for you. Definitely read those blogs, especially the most recent one. I'm going to link to it in the description and subscribe to it. Just go to the bottom, enter your email address in. You'll get a notification. You'll get the whole blog in your email when it gets posted. By the way, like, and you just reminded me of like when you saw the footprints. That's like the Fratellis looking for the size 5s or the size 9s. I can't remember.
Follow them size 5s.
Like the little sneaker prints.
Yeah.
Like they're definitely referencing the Goonies with all these little things.
Definitely on purpose.
Jerry, love, chunk. Anyway,
this is this is where like people are starting to turn on Carol and her character. The mindset that I think they have her character in right now, revenge being the number one thing, her not being reliable, her not being trustworthy. Do they get out of there faster? Do they get out of there unscathed? Do they get out of there with everybody if she doesn't do the thing she did? You have to say, yeah. You know, she holds them up in the tunnel. The walkers catch up and get Jerry. She disappears with the dynamite and blow up the zombies, and the whole place goes haywire because now Daryl's looking for her. The place starts collapsing. They have to wait for him to get back with her. She's just a lot of selfish decisions right now that she's made. And the end result right now is that it looks like everybody's kind of turning their back on her.
And even that is, I'm amazed at how they react to this, to like her behavior too. I'm actually kind of really impressed.
Right now, I mean, I believe that Connie and Magna are fine. I think that they're just trapped inside there. I don't think that they're dead. I don't think they would kill both of those characters that way. I kind of feel like they would probably get a little more juice out of the berry. And I mean, even from like the trailers that we've seen.
Well, we know that Connie survives.
Right. Because we see her in the upcoming. Pretty sure they both do. I know there's some people saying that one of them doesn't make it out, which is possible, but I don't know if they're ready to off both of them yet.
I'm with you on that. Look, Rachel's not going to like this part, but let's drill down to Carol a little bit more because there's a lot going on here. I feel like I say that all the time. Whatever, it's not getting edited out. There's a lot going on. There'll be a supercut somewhere in the distant future. There's a lot going on here. Yeah, there's so much going on here than we thought. Anyway, so obviously rage scream, apologizing to Daryl there, the dynamite, her falling, getting saved by Daryl, and even in that moment, still reaching up for the dynamite again.
Yeah.
Oopsie. By the way, side note, I think we've all seen Lost, right? Have we seen Arts get blown up by that old dynamite?
We're not going to take any more of this stuff than we need because nitroglycerin is extremely temperamental. So we just...
Dude. Did we all see that part? How lucky is Carol that she didn't bring Flame 1 anywhere near that dynamite?
Right.
There's no fuse at all.
Yeah.
There's like this big, yay big.
Was she planning on taking them out and her dying just to do it?
There is a huge part of her that wants to stick around to end Alpha, right? To see her suffer and hurt, as she says to Daryl later on, or even just before that. But
yeah.
But like, had she even had that flame anywhere near in the air near that dynamite, this gone at least. Her body probably flying out into the distance.
Yeah.
Like, impact would have like fucked it up. In a sense, she was so lucky that like she fell, but only now to be met with like the ire of everybody, especially Daryl. Like, you told me you were sorry, you did it anyway, you fell, I caught you. No more bullshit. And by the way, this is all things I said in the very episode that pissed me off the most. But like, he says what I said when we were breaking down the episode. It's not even about being sorry. Don't bullshit me.
Yeah, don't bullshit.
That's it. Don't bullshit me. You can do what you want to do. Just don't bullshit me. Include me.
He says he can't turn his back on her, and I feel like I can't turn my back on you.
Right.
You do want to do something.
Right. I know that you're claustrophobic. Do you know how I know? Because I know you. Like, you didn't have to tell me.
Yeah.
Like, we're still friends, right?
That was one of my favorite lines.
Yeah.
If I only knew what you told me, I wouldn't know shit.
And that sucks, right?
But I also took it as, like, he's an extremely observant person. Like, he watches people and learns more about them based on their behavior rather than what he's told, which is...
Even though he operates on what he's been told. Like, he'll take people at their word. Mm-hmm. The right people at their word.
But then he'll pay attention to their actions as well.
She didn't have to tell him she was popping pills. He saw, but he still operated on the fact that, oh, okay, she can handle it.
Yeah.
Okay, we have to take a step back sometimes when these things happen, because when we have this reaction, we're falling for the writer's trap. We should really kind of appreciate the fact that that we're so invested in this character whom we love. It's almost to the point of irrational, but we get it because of what she's been through, like as Daryl says. So I have to kind of give them kudos. They're trying to drive us into a point in the show where we hate her also. And I find that really fascinating. She's sitting there begging him to say, fuck you. A fuck you guy. And he's not doing it. The rest of the crew don't do it. Magna was doing it before, but she can't do it now.
Right.
And everybody just kind of walks away, which is kind of like, it goes back to what Daryl was saying in the cave. We fight for the future. We don't fight for revenge.
Yeah.
No matter what happened just now, what shit happened just now, they're still operating on that premise. Like, this isn't about you. You fucked us. This isn't about you.
Right.
Have you ever gotten in trouble as a little kid and you think you're going to get yelled at, right? But instead your parents just look at you with that disappointed look and they go,
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
But they
And
don't
you're
say
like,
it.
Fuck me.
But do they say that?
No, they say they're
Okay.
they say they're disappointed, and you would rather just be screamed and yelled at. I felt that for Carol. Like she knew.
And she was
Nobody
acting like
needed
a
to say it.
child, right?
She knew. She wanted somebody to scream and yell at her because it was better than the way they were looking at her.
Right.
It crushed me. I felt like Carol in that moment.
At first, I'm obviously looking at Carol and be like, whoa, what's going on here? But in my second watch, I was looking at Daryl. And Norman, actually.
Yeah, his face is just disgusted.
It's like
points
this
at
weird... there's this weird
like,
mix.
He looks like he wants to cry. He kind of gets like this emotional, like, cry. Like, I want to cry with you, but you could just see he's just distraught with, like you said, like, fuck you.
But at the same time, he says nothing. And that's the thing that... There's this, like, this trifecta of this, like, I'm... Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
And then, like, I know what you're going through in this moment. And the third thing of, like, these people are down there because of you.
Mm-hmm.
And are they still down there, right? They are probably not a them anymore. The only thing I could think of myself is Carol's right back to where she was pre-apocalypse. She's at not only her lowest point, she's pre-apocalypse Carol, like no potential Carol. Like, you are your best self in the apocalypse Carol. No, that's gone.
Yeah.
And the only thing preventing her from walking through that door is Daryl reacting. Daryl knows that in this moment, I have all the power in the world, and she's begging him to use it. She's begging him to be her husband in this weird way. It's the thing she knows to expect. He told me I was garbage.
Yeah.
And I felt like garbage, and I knew that I was garbage. So what else was I to expect? Daryl knows this behavior. Daryl was abused by everybody.
Right.
It's a pre-apocalypse. I think he knows in this moment that it's not productive. B, it would do the most harm to the most strong person on this team. It would like absolutely destroy my friend. And what does it prove, right? This is not the right medicine for this patient right now. Yeah. People, when they're reminded of this abusive behavior, they sometimes like go back into these patterns where they're comfortable. They're used to being told this about themselves a certain way. That's like this comfort zone in all this misery that they kind of go back to. And so that's the only thing that was like clicking, there's like ringing alarm bells in my mind. And like Daryl is like seeing this as like, I can't, if I do, it's over.
Right.
So I need to walk away. And so does everybody else. Let's walk away, everybody. Come on. Please walk away. Help me out here.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah.
It's rough.
We only briefly touched on the Connie Carroll moment, but that to me was really, really, really powerful. And I think Lauren Ridloff herself even said on Talking Dead, like how important that scene was to show the relationship between these two women. They can have a bond and look out for each other. Forget Daryl. Like,
right, potentially, right.
throw him right out of the picture. Like we're still two strong women who need to survive together, and we're gonna get through this. I thought that was really sweet.
I know when this does go go out to everybody, I'm gonna get beat up for it, but the Carol Daryl relationship thing stop. I think that the relationship they have is going to be what it is now, and it's more best friend than anything. Like just for all the social media I see, all the shippers. Can we bring it to an end?
I mean, I think that's why the internet's falling apart right now.
Yeah,
and honestly,
it's
like
really bad.
But it's going in a direction that I didn't expect it to take. And Rachel, let me know if I'm onto something, because I think people that were into the Carol thing, you know, like the Carol and Daryl thing, they're almost like turning on Carol or the show. Do you know what I mean? Like, they ruined this for me, or Carol ruined Carol, you know? So
oh yeah,
there's this weird kind of thing that's going on now.
What I saw was a dominant feed of pro Carol, and how anyone who went against the
I did see that too. My bad.
It was bad. Like, it was like, change my mind, and someone would be like, well, this or this, and they'd be like, you're stupid, shut up, stop talking. I'd be like,
jeez.
So why are you asking people for their input then, if you're just going to sit there and deny it anyway, when people are actually giving you pretty good insight as to where this is going nowhere?
Well, I mean, you know, all you have to really do is remind people where Carol was in her just whole entire timeline. Yeah. Like, of the kind of person she became, even knowing where she came from, how she evolved to be a really strong person, and then how she further evolved to be someone who could be with Ezekiel, right? Which is pretty cool. Yeah. Like, that you can tone that shit down a little bit. But then, you know, that's all you'd have to say. And then you can go, oh yeah, well, and then they killed her son and blah, blah, blah. And then, you know, you can be like, okay, I get it. Okay, fine.
Yeah, I mean,
but you could still be mad at her.
Yeah, I mean, you could, and I mean, these are people who are going way back to, like, that one time where they kind of confirmed
right.
Daryl did the naughty season.
When was this confirmed?
You want to make out in the corner?
Yeah, I mean,
it was. She asked if he wants to fool around, but they don't.
Right.
I'd have to go back and rewatch to pinpoint the exact time.
Is it when they're in the women's shelter? Season.
It would be like
2, maybe.
2 or it's like obviously after her husband's dead and all that stuff.
Right.
Maybe it was 3 then.
Yeah,
because her and Daryl go back to the women's shelter that her and
there's like
Sophia
heavy kind of like, I don't want to call it flirting, but you know, like there's definitely like that chemistry that they just did it, you know, kind of thing between them as characters.
See, I think in the very beginning, open-ended. Carol did some heavy flirting, and we thought, and for a minute I thought, oh, maybe, but honestly, I like the way they developed this relationship, you know, to where it is now. I'm glad they didn't officially hook up. I mean, maybe there's some indication that they did, but I'm glad it wasn't clear. You know, I think it's better than being in a romantic relationship.
Right. That's the thing. Like, I never begrudge anybody like wanting it. I just don't see the pathway to get it. It's like that best friend, you know, you have the goods on. You know what their farts smell like. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's not good. It's not good at all.
I think I get the metaphor.
I mean, you have to go through it in order to survive it and then be together. But there's that
terrible friends. If they're making you walk through their farts to be friends with them.
And guys are a little different.
New friends.
I had very terrible cousins too. Like, anyway, they'd fart on your
cousins,
head.
That makes sense.
Terrible.
Yeah.
I got a secret.
But
to
no,
tell you.
I get what you're saying. You know.
Yeah.
If I start thinking about those two getting together as a couple, like all I see are all the pitfalls that follow. Like it's just going to be terrible. It's going to, everything that happens after that will be awful. So
yeah, you almost need to know.
I think it's perfect just how it is.
Yeah, I mean, you almost need to not know something about somebody to get to know them. But now when you have this much info, it's like, you know. That's why when we saw
secrets.
Well, that's why when we saw less secrets, but like, okay, I want to grow with you. You know? Like, I want to kind of grow with you rather than here we are like walking side by side. Oh, now we're in a relationship. But like that's why when people saw Connie come to the picture, it's like, okay, there's potential here. We're getting to know each other. Maybe I can be this other. You know, like there's so many things that happen when you meet like someone new. Like you almost, I mean, in some senses, you almost kind of figure yourself out along the way too. Like you think you know you, but you don't until you meet this new person. You're like, well, man, I do like musicals or something stupid, like whatever. You know what I mean? It's like from this to like this big thing too. I'm
definitely not a Donnie either.
Oh,
I don't know.
Daryl's asexual.
I don't want Daryl with anybody.
Yeah.
I'm shipping Daryl and Dog.
Daryl and Dog forever, for life.
And it's still Dog no matter how you try to ship it. D, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter.
Yep.
It's Dag. Dag.
It's Dag.
Dag.
Daggle.
Dag.
It's Daggle.
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 I'm shipping Daryl and Dog. Daggle.
Daggle number 4, life.
Yeah.
Daggle till the end.
I haven't seen any previews yet, so I know I've heard mention of Oceanside and stuff, so.
I don't know about that, but I saw the Talking Dead preview. You did too, and it was like an extended cut of Beta popping out of Alexandria, it looks like, by the way.
Yes. The wider shot,
It does help.
Shows him coming through the grave and standing there, right?
Yeah. Knives out.
Yeah.
So,
I saw that
we know he's on the hunt personally for Gamma.
Gamma, I guess, yeah.
Right.
So I wonder if he tracks her there, and that's why he's there.
Must.
I also wonder if that links up with the scene where it's kind of like where Rosita is in the room. She's all bloody. She has the weapon.
Yeah.
He's near the crib, and there's like something going on there.
Was that Beta or just a generic whisper?
I don't know. It was really dark.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
You can't really tell, but probably maybe.
The only reason I don't jump right to Beta is because of the height.
Shit.
They didn't look quite as tall as I would picture him standing next to
that. And I mean, if it is Beta, I mean, Rosita's dead, right?
Oh, for sure. Oh, she's gone.
I mean,
so dead.
Saw Blade versus impervious hippo person. I don't know, but like, I just had a really, really dark thought. Like, if The Walking Dead will finally go there, like Beta taking out Coco. You know what I mean? Like, what is the thing? What is the thing that...
Do you think he would?
Yeah, there's part of me that's like, no.
I don't know if he would kill a baby. We know Alpha's capable of it. And if she told him to, maybe, but I don't know that he would come to that decision on his own.
I understand what threat does the baby pose to him, and that killing the baby would be wiping out a generation or whatever, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
A potential guardian, at least.
Yeah, like, well, I mean, why would you want to waste your time killing I don't know.
Maybe stealth.
Maybe taking the baby. I don't know.
That's practical, like
they took our baby. I'm taking this one.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, they're interchangeable, right? One's worth another. I don't know. Equality, though,
we'll find out.
One would be
the quality of babies.
One would be much older. Wouldn't be a baby anymore.
Yeah.
Which is Ross's daughter, right? I mean,
Gracie.
Yeah. But then there's Adam, who's at Hilltop.
Yeah, baby Adam.
Where's Rick Jr. at?
I would say Alexandria. Yeah.
Either that, or I think maybe I mean, are they hiding people at Oceanside? I don't know.
So I think the last time I remember seeing him was at Oceanside.
Yeah,
doesn't mean he's still there, but
they're playing with the sand and stuff and the mask and all that crap.
Right, but then they must have come back and then they rode back down to Oceanside. Oh, from Hilltop, actually.
Yeah.
So he must be in Alexandria.
I'd actually be happy to see a little bit more of him, but we'll see what happens. We'll be seeing Judith soon.
Is the boy who plays RJ, is he a twin or is he just a single person?
I don't know. Actually, I'm not sure. I think he's a non-twin kid.
I know that. Like, what do you say? A single child?
Well, no, because a lot of the child actors are
not a
doubles.
duplicate.
Yeah. They're like twins.
The younger they are, they usually get twins. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we pretty much covered it. There's little tiny things like Magna, and her impulsiveness is born out of like wanting to come back to Yumiko and be like, I didn't leave things off great, and so that's why I'm jumping into pits and being an idiot.
Yeah.
And the whole like taking out Whisperers prior to them trying to pop out of the thing, and then she gets stuck with Connie. That's the whole reason why they're there. It's because they were trying to kill Whisperers so that Jerry can make it escape.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Because
I'm glad we ran that through then.
Yeah, seriously. Because in that very final moment, they're like, oh, there's, freaks down here or whatever. I'm like, just let it collapse on them.
Right.
Get out and let it fall on them. But then Jerry wouldn't have been able to get out, is what you're saying.
Yeah, essentially.
So no matter what, somebody was going to get stuck in there. Because as soon as he dropped that beam, he got out, and then it kind of went...
I think that's the thing. Like, Magna is so impulsive, but Jerry is so protective. But Magna's impulsiveness beats Jerry. It's like a game of poker. Like, Magna's impulsiveness beats Jerry's like protectiveness. You could see him being like, I don't want to have to leave, but I gotta go. You know, like, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and Aaron was like, come on. You know?
You gotta go, Jerry. Gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, if I were Connie and Magna, yeah, I'd have hightailed it out there and just let the place collapse on the whispers that were left in there.
Well, they'd all be out right now if it wasn't for Carol.
Yeah.
I agree. I have to agree with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You selfish girl.
Well, that's where we draw the line, but I do agree it is her fault.
There is one point. There is one. I do want to bring up this one point, though. Talking Dead brought up the poll during one of their breaks, and I was
so surprised.
No. I was mad because the framing of that poll made me very upset. Would you have blown up the Horde? That's not the question to ask. The answer is yes. Of course you would try to blow up the Horde, right? It's not that. The question is, would you go off all half-cocked, not telling your people, and not having a plan on how to do it carefully so that everybody's on the same page? That's the question. I guess it's not a perfect soundbite. Chris Hardwick. Who's the talk show host now, bitch?
Yeah.
At me. I don't know. It's not that. It's definitely a producer or something like that. It's not him. But anyway, he can't be. It can't be Chris. Anyway, so I'm a little out of here. But like you said, I was very surprised by people like kind of like weeding through that stupid question to kind of get to the heart of the matter. Would you have done what Carol done? That's the question. And it was like 52-50 on the side of not doing it. Or 52-48, right?
It was damn near split. Yeah, I was surprised.
The fandom is affected. There's like that one part of me that's like, oh shit. And there's the other part of me that's going, kudos, writers. Kudos.
Yeah.
You literally moved a mountain with your writing. You moved a community to act, to press a button. It said no. No, Carol. No.
Yeah.
I'm impressed. TWD World Beyond looks fantastic. I mean, in my opinion, looks fantastic. Visually, it seems like they're pushing a lot of the buttons that makes me want to watch it, like dealing with advanced communities, like this clash between like, do you even know that you're in the apocalypse? Yes, we're well aware we're in the apocalypse. Do the kids know we're in the apocalypse? They'll find out.
Yeah.
That's my impression of TWD World Beyond. And maybe?
Yeah,
I guess they'll figure it out. Which
I'm going
like.
into it like this. Meh.
I just dislike the folks that are going into it like with an opinion already. Like, okay, like, it's for kids.
I have no opinion, no idea what to expect. I'm just gonna watch it and break it apart.
Yeah, and for all we know, we won't like it. I mean, that's very possible. Right. But I mean, there's the serum looks
not likely, but possible.
Serum looks pretty badass. Like just the soldier aspect of it. They've always kind of come off, or at least what we've seen from Fear, and like just the impression that they're surgical, secretive, brutal. Let's just put it that way. I'm into it. I want to know more.
It is geared towards an adult audience, correct? It's not like an attempt to bring in younger viewers, or is it?
What producers are saying, it's going to be the darkest of all the series.
I know. My guts are telling me that's an empty promise.
I will say that Sarah Beth Pollock walked away going, oh shit, this is really good. Yeah. I mean, it's like only a 2-season thing. Yeah.
I mean, what are people going to say though? This is shit. Don't watch it?
I usually trust her. She's a Twilight Zone fanatic. I mean, so I'm already kind of like, tell me more, please.
I'm not trying to formulate any opinions about the...
Oh, no, I know.
Yeah, no.
What's she going to lie?
My only thought is...
Yeah.
Well, no, I don't think she would lie, but nobody's going to come out and be like, it's a piece of shit, don't watch it. Like, nobody's going to say that. My thought is, we're watching a group of teenagers. That's kind of where my thought ends.
But you know what? They're kind of establishing their expectations ahead of time. Like, they're front-loading it with the fact that, okay, these are teenagers, they haven't been exposed to the dangers, and they're going to find out. And I kind of want to see how that plays out, because young kids in the apocalypse, they shake out one of two ways. First of all, they grow up with no empathy. Some people, they shoot and they kill, and that's it. And they're kind of like, the people, the kids in Fear, Carl and his gang, and like when they walked into Alexandria, there's like this weird thing where they still act spoiled, but they still want to kill. And some people still don't know it's the apocalypse. So
this show basically is going to be their first exposure to the apocalypse, right?
Technically, yes.
Okay, and we're going to believe that they all make it through an entire series and no one dies.
Who knows? That's the thing. They're absolutely different from any kids that we've ever met in the apocalypse. Do you know why? They have knowledge from the CRM group. They get taught it in school. They have all this front-loaded knowledge, right? But like they've never been out there.
Experienced it.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. So it's not like they're completely sheltered. They think the world is normal out there or anything. Like they're aware of what's going on.
No, they're very aware. And they have they're familiar with all the weapons too. Like all the weapons.
Okay.
Is that right? Oh, whatever.
Okay.
Like they know how to take down walkers. In theory, right? Which is kind of funny because it's kind of like if they're kind of like us in a weird way. They're like, oh, I know how to take out. Just go aim for the head, right? That's another podcast.
See, I know I would die on day one of the apocalypse, though.
But see, that's because we do this all the time. We know the kind of dead meat we're gonna be, except for Chris.
Yeah.
'Cause he knows how to leapfrog on rocks and shit.
No, I wouldn't be doing that.
But I would, because I'm 5'2" with tiny legs.
Chris would be looking for another exit. Now, I'll be over here checking the back door, guys.
Well, I think you two would be the one boosting up. Well, I'd be like, yeah, a little to the right, a little right. Okay. Anyway.
I'm excited to find out that Black Summer is coming back for season 2.
Hell yeah.
Is it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Good. They left us hanging.
Isn't it coming out soon, actually?
It says 2020, not a release date yet.
Oh, okay.
I know
Summer's coming back.
Altered Carbon is in a couple days, season 2.
Ozark comes, season 3 starts in March.
Just finished that on Netflix.
I need some new stuff to watch.
And then I started watching Arrested Development yesterday.
Better Call Saul. I gotta watch the second episode yesterday.
She goes, eh.
I haven't started that one. I don't know what it is. The Saul character just never... He never grabbed me.
I'll say this much: it's. I'm gonna say it. And Blasey Gardner agrees with me. He's like, there's something to Better Call Saul that's actually even better than Breaking Bad. Like as much as you like Breaking Bad because you see him break bad, Better Call Saul has this like weird, like every man can't do right, but then tries to do right, and then ends up being Saul anyway. It's like it's all of us
failing up.
Well, failing up implies like you do so shitty at your job, like you're so incompetent they flush you up.
Yeah.
That's not Saul.
Nah, Saul, like there's intention.
Oh, okay.
There's
okay.
like he tries to do everything the right way, and he ends up it just ends up being worse. So why not lean in? That's him. That's Better Call Saul in a nutshell. But there's this component.
This is a prequel. Correct.
Yeah,
Breaking.
There's a twist. So in there is a present scene where he's Gene, and he works at a Cinnabon, and it's in black and white, which is really interesting. And that's the present scenes, right? And like the past scenes, the prequel is all in color, and kind of 90s colors at that. But like, I mean, you don't notice it at first, but and there's other components too, which is like, oh, we don't see her in Breaking Bad. What does that mean? Yeah, and she's an integral character in the show. Is this what made him lean into being Saul Goodman? Yeah. So I really I'm enjoying the show.
Maybe I'll check it out.
And I may see Dispatches from Elsewhere.
I liked the first episode. It was good.
Oh, right, because it was right after the episode.
Yeah.
Which really threw me off because I thought that the premiere episode was an hour and 37 minutes long. And I'm like, this is awesome. And then it was streamlined right in. I'm like,
right.
Oh, okay. So I watched it. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
You sat there with the guy staring at you awkwardly?
Yeah, it was weird.
That was so weird.
That's brilliant, by the way. Brilliant.
I couldn't stop staring. It worked. It totally worked.
Yeah. Yeah.
AMC's genius. I have to say, like, do you remember when they played that episode of Nosferatu? And we were like so mad at them, but at the same time, I was just like, I'm kind of impressed with AMC. Like, it's just clever. Like, if you really want to get people to watch a show, and I watched a couple episodes of
Badlands.
Yeah, Badlands. I watched a couple episodes of Badlands after that, after they introduced it that way.
very bloody.
We watched the whole series. It was freaking awesome.
I mean,
Nick Frost is. It's freaking awesome.
Well, I just couldn't get into it. Like, there's just so much shit going on in our lives.
It's okay too.
It's hard.
Yeah. But like, I mean, there's so much good TV to watch. It's like you have to really like figure it out, man. Letterkenny style.
Well, Into the Badlands is on Netflix now.
Oh yeah. Well, like a lot of the MC shows too. Yeah.
Yep. It's good. I mean, just the fight scenes alone, like they could just piece all that together, and I just watch hours of it.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. I was not happy with the ending, but I won't spoil it for you. I also like to watch shows when there's been several seasons completed, so I can binge them.
But AMC, man,
That's
like
how I
Preacher,
like to watch my shows.
Preacher's like that. Like I want to watch Preacher because it's Seth Rogen produced. I mean, and the writing apparently is that phenomenal. He's doing The Boys too, Seth Rogen. So it's kind of like, and I saw that. That's really good.
Boys is good, yeah.
You were telling me to watch The Boys, I think.
What's wrong with you?
It's really good. Go watch it.
Yeah, it's really fucking good.
Go binge it right now.
Yeah,
Right now.
go
Boys.
right now.
Right now. All right, bye guys.
Right meow.
Right meow.
How about meow?
Yeah.
Maybe meow? Folks, if you like what you've heard, ratethispodcast.com/squawkingdead. It's a lot easier. Like it, subscribe, comment, let us know what we missed. I mean, we kind of went through a lot here today. I can't wait to see you guys soon. We'll try to record episode 89 sooner rather than later. Like, well, because we have AMC Premiere, then, you know, if you're a coffee backer and you have AMC Premiere too, you can catch that unedited. I can't wait to talk about next week's episode. Beta's going after Gamma. Rosita might get bloody. Coco might die. Basically, the show's over in the next episode. You know, goodbye. In any case, thank you for listening. Can't wait to see you guys next week. And we'll get to talk about it all together. Have a good night.
Later. Peace. Deuces.
Bye.